with Chapter 4, Millions of Them, from our book Magic Treehouse, Afternoon on the Amazon. Jack didn't move. He kept staring down at the forest floor. "What's wrong?" Annie called from above. Jack didn't answer. "You don't see any giant spiders, do you?" she said. "Well, no," and he took a deep breath. "We have to keep going," he thought. "We have to find the special thing for Morgan." "No spiders, nothing scary," Jack called, and he started down the ladder again. Jack and Annie climbed down through the understory, finally stepping down onto the forest floor. Only a few rays of light slanted through the gloom. The trees were very, very tall and very wide. There were vines and moss growing and hanging everywhere. The ground was covered with dead leaves. "Before we do anything, I better check the book," said Jack, and he pulled the book out of his backpack and found a picture of the dark world under the treetops. He read, "In the rainforest, many living creatures blend in with their surroundings. This is called camouflage." "Oh man," said Jack. He closed the book and looked around. "There's tons of creatures down here, but we can't see any of them." "Really?" whispered Annie. She and Jack peered around at the quiet forest. Jack felt unseen eyes watching them. "Let's hurry and find that special thing," whispered Annie. "How will we know where to find it?" Jack asked. "I think we'll just know," said Annie. She headed off through the gloom. Jack followed. They crept through and between the huge trees and past hanging vines. Annie stopped. "Wait, what's that?" "What's what?" "Listen, that weird sound." Jack listened. He heard a crackling sound, like a person walking over leaves. Jack looked around and he didn't see anyone, but the sound got louder. Was it an animal, a giant bug, one that had never been named? Just then, the silent forest came alive. Birds took off into the air, frogs hopped over the leaves, lizards ran up the tree trunks. The weird noise grew louder and louder. "Maybe the book will explain it," said Jack. He opened the book and he found a picture of the different animals running together. He read, "When the animals hear a crackling sound, they flee in panic. The sound means that 30 million flesh-eating army ants are marching over the dead leaves." "It's army ants!" cried Jack. "Millions of them!" "Where?" said Annie. Jack and Annie looked around wildly. "There!" he pointed. Army ants, millions and millions of them, were marching over the leaves. "Run to the treehouse," said Annie. "Where is it?" said Jack, whirling around. All the trees looked the same, and where was the rope ladder? "Just run," said Annie. Jack and Annie took off. They ran over the dead leaves. They ran between wide trees. They ran past the hanging vines and mosses. They climbed up over thick roots. Jack saw a clearing ahead. It was filled with sunlight. "That way," he cried. Jack and Annie hurried toward the light. They pushed their way through the bushes. They burst onto the bank of a river. They stared at the slow-moving brown water. "Do you think the ants will come across this way?" Annie said, panting. "I don't know," said Jack, "but if we wade a few feet into the river, we're safe. The ants won't go into the water. Come on." "Look," said Annie, and she pointed to a big log rocking at the edge of the river. The inside of the log was dug out. "It looks like a canoe," said Jack. He listened to the crackling sound in the distance. "Let's get in, quick." Jack shoved the book into his backpack. Then he and Annie carefully climbed into the dug-out log. Annie leaned out of it. She pushed away from the bank with her hands. "Wait," said Jack. "We don't have any paddles." "Oops," said Annie. The canoe started moving slowly down the muddy river. And that's the end of Chapter 4. The next time we meet, we'll listen to Chapter 5, Pretty Fish. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.